Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. Today's episode we have quite an important fixture for you here today. We're playing against Aston Villa, and the reason being is that, well, obviously as I mentioned before, that we were going to be playing against so-called smaller teams. It's actually a bit of an important game because it might actually end up being a significant weekend for us. So as you can see here through the Premier League table, well, for starters, we've actually managed to outscore Arsenal. We've scored 71 goals, so really scoring goals has not been an issue for us this year, thankfully. I'll show you exactly why in a second. But yeah, we're 5 points away. We're playing Aston Villa, which we should be expected to win. But Arsenal are playing Stoke, who are, definitely in 17th. Without a doubt, they should be beating Stoke. But they are just above relegation zone, and Stoke will want to win this game by any means just to get away from the relegation zone. Properly, because they're still level on points with Derby and they're just ahead based on goal difference. And the reason why we're doing quite well in terms of scoring goals is because, I don't think I can really show you properly here, but I can probably show you a little bit better here. We've got Anthony Martial and Rashford both scoring 50 goals together basically, and they got quite a number of assists for both of them as well. I think this year the goals are more widespread. Mkhitaryan was out for quite a large part of it as well, so he hasn't managed to hit double figures for both stats as he did last year. So it's been a bit unfortunate. And I think it shows here, it says that because I think this is just the Premier League ones, but as you can see the total one in the bottom there, it's actually 11 goals, 16 assists. So we've missed him a little bit since he's been injured, and he's actually 30 years old now, so he's getting to that later stages of his career basically. But in terms of what happened since our last episode, which if you missed, you should definitely watch it. It was a 5-0 win against Northampton. But yeah, the game that followed after that, we topped it easily. We beat Chelsea 6-1. This wasn't as easy as the scoreline suggests. It was a bit nervy because we scored a goal and then Oscar scored a goal back. But yeah, Rashford managing to get a hat-trick. He was just crazy clinical. Rojo even getting on the scoring sheet, as well as Depay managing to score coming on from the bench, I think it was. No, actually he didn't come off the bench, he was actually playing. But anyways, still beating Chelsea 6-1 at home was a great result, but we followed that by a poor performance against Tottenham, 1-0 loss. Really, we didn't deserve to win, as you can tell through the stats there. And we didn't even have a single clear-cut chance too, so we just got thoroughly beaten. But thankfully, it was only a 1-0 loss. But we did go on a nice winning run here, which followed 4 clean sheets, 5 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals, and 3 goals here. Actually, sorry, 4 goals. How did I miss that? I was reading the Norwich one. But anyways, just to blitz through them quickly. Martial scored within the first minute again. He's had a bit of a habit of doing that this season. Pogba scored 2 goal brace as well, and he also managed to score in the game that followed against Stoke. But yeah, this FA Cup round was pretty much easy. Verratti scored a goal himself as well through the pen. Rojo managing to get a goal in the end through the set piece. And the game that followed was the game against Burnley. It was a 4-0 win. Anthony Martial getting a hat-trick. James Wilson's coming off the bench as well to score his second goal of the season so far, I think. And we also managed to beat Norwich 3-1. Rojo unfortunately to concede. Anthony Martial getting a goal in the second minute as well, as really close towards the end of the game basically. So yeah, that game's also not as easy as it looks basically. We scored 2 goals from the 80th minute onwards, so we drew for most of the game basically. But yeah, and then we had to play against FCP in the Champions League, and a bit of a disappointing result. We were at home. It was nice not to concede away at home basically, because if we score away from home, it counts double basically. But really, we were pretty much outplayed, as you can tell from the stats here. And I guess a draw was a bit of a fair result, but I was hoping to see us take our, the one clear-cut chance that fell our way. But unfortunately we didn't, and 0-0 is not too bad. We'll play that leg later on. If we progress into the quarterfinals, it depends on the team we draw. I might be showing you guys some of those cup games as well. But yeah, we did win against Middlesbrough as well, 5-0 win. Martial getting a hat-trick again, and Rashford managed to get on the score sheet, as well as Luke Shaw of all people. That was an FA Cup win though, so it didn't really count much towards the Premier Division or the Premier League. But I do want to quickly show you Anthony Martial's goal. Pogba's goal actually. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's in this game against Stoke. Pretty much he just dribbles through. He actually won the Premier League goal of the month after he scored this, and the reason being is that he pretty much dribbled through about 3 different players. Now that I remember, it's actually the Derby game. But I guess I could quickly show you this goal as well. But you know, he's been a bit on a scoring run. He's just in crazy form now. I think his average rating in the past 5 games has actually been like 5 goals. I don't think this one really amounts to much, but might as well show you. Yeah, pretty much nice, you know, composed finish. That's actually the goal against Derby, and I think I really can't remember if it's the 10th minute or the 45th minute. Let's go with the 10th and see what happens. Hopefully I got the right one this time, but you know, too many goals to remember. But he just dribbles past everyone, so complete solo goal. I think this is it. Goes past 2 players there. I think it goes past a third before, yep, banging in the bottom corner. Complete solo goal. No one gets the assist for that, even though it's like highlighting variety. But yeah, let's just get into today's game against Aston Villa. Hopefully we do get the 3 points to capitalise on any sort of poor performance from Arsenal. We do need to close this gap from 5 points. Hopefully we can narrow that down to 2 and, you know, put some serious pressure on Arsenal towards the end of the season. We've also got to play them later on, so we can hopefully beat them and make that count. Also, Tottenham are level on points with us, so we really can't afford to drop any points whatsoever. I'm going to tell my players, apparently we should get revenge. I think Aston Villa were a team we lost against earlier on in the season, and yeah, we need to make it count here. We're going to get a nice little handshake there. They're playing with a goalkeeper who's injured. Don't know why they're doing that. We can skip this intro a little bit and just show you guys the goals on replay. Yeah, playing a bit defensive, Aston Villa. You can expect that away from home. We're going to get a chance through a set piece here, and it actually looks like Aston Villa are the ones who are going to get this chance through a counter-attack. But instead, Mario Fernandes deals with that well, and Mkhitaryan is going to bring the ball forward. He finds Blind, who finds Pogba, and Januzaj passes it to Marshall. He's going to dribble past everyone. Can he tuck it away? No, he cannot. That's our first clear-cut chance of the game, and Golini, who's injured, manages to save that. But we are going to get another chance through a set piece, so can we make it count this time? Instead, it's mayhem in the box, and Pogba gets away with it. Can he find someone? No, he can't. Instead, he loses out to Sanchez, and it's Aston Villa who are going to break here again, which you can expect if they're playing a 4-1-4-1 formation, really. In terms of who started today, standard team really: David De Gea, Mario Fernandes, Phil Jones our first choice, captain as well, Rojo on the team sheet because Baye's gone abroad to the African Cup of Nations, and yeah, I think Smalling was injured for quite a while, so Rojo's getting a little chance here. He's been performing well, so can't really take him off. And Mkhitaryan goes on a crazy run, but his finish is even crazier, and it is going to be an Aston Villa goal kick. Luke Shaw, pretty much standard first choice left back. Blind and Pogba in midfield because Verratti, I think, is actually suspended for the game. Pogba does poorly. He's supposed to, you know, cut it back for someone up front, but instead he loses out, but we managed to win it back, and Mkhitaryan is going to bring the ball forward for the team here. He's been great for us. I really like seeing him play. He's an incredible player. Has quite a lot of, I think, more vision than what the attributes give him credit for. Januzaj almost put a beautiful ball through to Rashford, but instead we're putting some serious pressure on Aston Villa. And Blind does well to find Mario Fernandes, but Mario Fernandes does even better to find Januzaj, and that is the first goal of the game. Not first chance, first goal of the game. It is our second clear-cut chance of the game, and not to mention the second half chance as well. I mean, not this one specifically, but Januzaj just does well to shadow in the box. The defenders are too preoccupied with Anthony Marshall, so Januzaj does well to just get in there. And 1-0 lead into the half-time is not too bad. Hopefully we can kick on in the second half. But yeah, Mkhitaryan, Januzaj, Rashford, Marshall are standard front four. Mata's gotten a little old now, not playing as much as he used to because of injuries, but also because Januzaj's been playing well, even though he's done quite well himself, Mata as in. But yeah, he is 30 years old now. He's starting to deplete his physicals. And actually, my assistant told me he should be retrained as a midfielder, but unfortunately he doesn't play well as a deep-lying playmaker on defend duty, neither as a roaming playmaker because his physicals are going a little bit down. So we're going to carry him on as an advanced playmaker, but one of the things I hate most about him is that he actually comes deep to get the ball, so that's awful. I don't need him to come deep, I need him to stay up and play the striker through. Apparently we should be wary of complacency, but I don't see anyone looking complacent. Instead, they're a bit nervous, so we're going to tell them that they've done well so far, and they have. You know, we pretty much dominated the game here. Aston Villa only got one half chance, So yeah, we just really need to kick on and make this a bit more comfortable for us and get a second goal. It looks like our front four really haven't had a great game other than Januzaj. Generally everyone else has performed quite decently other than Rojo. But yeah, again, we're having a bunch of highlights from set pieces, and Rashford makes no mistake to tuck that in. Every time you watch that, it's just bouncing around the box. I don't know what's going on with set pieces recently. I guess Mr. Mkhitaryan's been putting in good balls into the box. Yeah, goalkeeper just flapping. God knows where the Aston Villa player is heading, and even the one on the post where it just walked off and goalkeeper stood no chance is pretty much blocked. But yeah, there you go, our second goal of the game. Now it's a bit more comfortable. Mario Fernandes with an assist. I'm not sure that was the assist. I don't think that was the assist that he got, credited for. I think that was the one for Januzaj. But yeah, this is why Mario Fernandes is a better alternative to Darmian. And we're going to make a few changes because it's the 60th minute. Give a couple of more other players. Marshall looking uninterested is not good for me. I'm not happy about that at all, so I'm going to take him off even though he's not tired whatsoever. Mkhitaryan having a bit of a bad game, but we can show him a bit more faith because he's not tired quite yet, and he could change his game just around just yet. So we're going to bring on Herrera for Blind, who's getting a little bit more tired because he doesn't have much match fitness left over. Considering he hasn't really played a lot of games because Verratti's been playing most of them because he is our first choice basically. Yeah. Blind's doing okay in that position, but not as good as I'd hope. And the team are playing a little strange here. I mean, we are winning 2-0, but we had 20 shots and only 4 of them on target, yet 3 clear-cut chances. This game's a bit strange. But yeah, Aston Villa look to have set up a little bit more attacking now. They've got a couple of, committing a few players forward, and that was a good ball into Brian, but for some reason he just blazes that over, and we'll take that. 2-0 win isn't too bad at all. In truth, the fixture that we're looking out for is actually the one. We're going to give Januzaj a break just because he's played well. There's only 15 minutes left. But yeah, the more important game is actually the game against Arsenal. Not us playing Arsenal, but rather Arsenal versus Stoke. If they drop points there, which seems a little bit more likely, considering I think they lost in their past couple of games. We'll have a quick look after this one. But yeah, 1 more minute left. It looks like nothing's really going to happen. Aston Villa have switched up their formation a little bit. I think someone got injured and they had to take him off, so they're actually playing with a man down. I thought there was a sub. I didn't realise they made all 3 subs already, so really we should be getting a third now, but can't expect much with 1 more minute left to the game. Van der Weel's actually transferred to Aston Villa. I had no clue about that. That's not a bad buy at all. Credit to Aston Villa to actually making it back into the Premier League this game. Got a number of injured players on the bench too. They've even substituted the goalkeeper Galini, so they brought on Jed Steer after that. Yeah, I guess we're a bit lucky that Aston Villa were injured, otherwise they might have showed up a little bit better than that. But yeah, good win nonetheless. 2-0 win, we'll take it. I thought Arsenal dropped points, so I got excited, but they actually haven't played their games just yet, so I'm actually going to forward a little bit into the future basically. But we'll see how Arsenal get on, and maybe I'll sim it now basically. But we did our job. Hopefully that stays that way and we can just be 2 points behind, because if we do beat Arsenal later on, then that will be key. Arsenal are the same as us. They still have to play City, Liverpool and ourselves, and we have to play Arsenal, City and Liverpool as well. As you can see here, Arsenal actually did manage to beat Stoke convincingly too, so that's a bit disappointing for us, but we did our bit, and maybe Tottenham will drop their points tomorrow. Or when did they play? They play on the 6th of March. That's a bit weird. Why did they play on the 6th of March? Well, either way, 3 points for us nonetheless. And yeah, I think the only other update I haven't given you guys is actually the youth candidates we've got in. So there's only, in truth, I mean, we haven't signed anyone just yet because my head of youth development has to rate them still, so this is probably wrong. But the one that looks best is actually Nathan Fletcher. Advanced toward exactly the type of striker we're looking for. If he develops well, so he can definitely end up being a key player for United. Potential to be a quality player, but hopefully we can see a bit more from him. He hasn't got much acceleration, even though he has a decent amount of pace, but we'll see how he gets on. A couple of nice youngsters. We've also got obviously plenty of youngsters in our squad already, so players like Timothy Fosu-Mensah is already ready for the team. He's definitely ready for Premier Division games. He's on loan for Aston Villa, AC Milan, and he's worth 12.5 million. He's 21 years old. Perfect time for him to come into the team, but unfortunately just doesn't fit in with our roaming playmaker or deep line playmaker roles. He can probably play as a central defender, but not too well. Got decent jumping reach, but his positioning, his marking really just needs more work. He's not too bad as a centre back, but I think he's a little bit better as a midfielder. I'll probably just think about selling him, making some profit from him. But really the player that suits us most is this deep line playmaker Neil Oliver. The only thing I'm not really happy about is his positioning is not too great. Hopefully he can change that around as he develops. He's still 18 years of age, but he is a Sky Bet Championship player, so another season on loan or so will help him become a Premier Division player. Then we can start playing him for our team. I think he's actually made his debut already. If we can find that game somewhere. I think I've given him a couple of minutes. Yeah, I did. Okay, so apparently I've played him a number of times. I didn't realize I played him this often. This is a bit strange. Well, anyways, point is, he's a player to look out for. A number of other players. Really, Axel Tuanzebe is ready for Premier Division game time. He's probably going to come in for Rojo. He seems to have regressed a little bit on loan, but I think it's just because no one's really tracking him. But he was ready for Premier Division, game time, and we'll probably give him a chance next season, sell Rojo or whatever. But yeah, I think that'll be all for today. In terms of when we'll be back, again, about 7 games from now, so Premier League games, remember, unless there's an actual progression. We do have Chelsea to play in the FA Cup. We won't be showing you that unless we progress into the final. We have Newcastle, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. West Ham's definitely a game you guys want to watch. The amount of times we've faced them and lost is incredible. If I can show you the past meetings, just look at this mixed bags of results. We've only beaten them 3 times in about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. So that's quite poor. We need to change that sort of record around. They even beat us in the Euro Cup final in the previous season on penalties. So that's how I think we're getting a bit of a rivalry. I actually want to check the club and see if we've developed a rivalry. I know in the game you can actually start developing rivalries now, but it looks like it hasn't really happened just yet. But I would consider them a rival by now, just because of how they've been. I'm not really sure where they are in the Premier League just yet. They are 14, so not too much, but I can bet you any amount of money that they're able to step up for our game. But anyways, I think that'll be all for today's episode. So if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe. And yeah, thanks guys. Thank you for watching.